iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. Week 2 almost done, almost in the books. We just have one more big game tonight. The New York Giants against the Detroit Lions. And I think the big question tonight is Odell Beckham Jr. Roto. Is he going to play? His status is up in the air right now. They expect that he'll be out there, but if he's out there, is he a decoy? I said to people that I would not be playing him this week. I played Jarvis Landry over him yesterday. I was very happy about that. I could certainly live with that, but you know, it's a conundrum what to do with him. But I would think that if you have no better options, you have to use Beckham. But if you had any better options, I absolutely would have used them this week because I just don't trust Beckham. We had Jerry Foley from the Giant Insider on the radio show on Saturday, and he basically said as much like, look, I just wouldn't tell fantasy owners to play them. And I say the same thing to you. I tell fantasy owners I wouldn't play him. So some things that we need to talk about. First of all, DeMarco Murray was dealing with a tight hamstring in the second half of yesterday's game, which is why we saw Derrick Henry. I want to see way more Derrick Henry. I love me some Derrick Henry. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. I want to watch that injury very closely. If Derrick Henry is playing and DeMarco Murray is sitting, I am all in on Derrick Henry in every league. Right now we've got a problem with Greg Olson. Greg Olson breaks his foot. He is out for 6 to 8 weeks. And I'll just tell the story. I'll leave the names out of it. But I'm in the SiriusXM Fantasy Host League. And one team drops Greg Olson. Let's say it happens on a Wednesday or Thursday. And instead of waiting for a week to pick up Olson when he's put back on the waiver wire, for some reason we didn't change the rules as they should have been. And some other team picks up Greg Olson immediately, like, I don't know, an hour or two later. Now, to me, the spirit of the rule is there's collusion that could happen there, which is why most leagues have the rule, which is if you drop a guy, you've got to wait at least 2 days to pick him up. Because otherwise, everybody in the league needs to be able to see that he's out there. If I drop a guy 1 minute and somebody picks him up the next minute, that could be collusion. Right? I call you on the phone. Hey, dude, drop him. I'll pick him up. I'll win. I'll split the money with you. Right? So normally you have to wait a week for that to happen. Well, let's just say this host, who's a friend of mine, nice person, picks up Olson. Well, a couple of us in the league were very upset about that and said, look, I don't think it's the right thing. I don't think it's the right thing that you do this. This person, this host, said, I disagree. It doesn't violate the rules. I didn't do anything to violate the rules. I'm keeping it. And I said, do what you want. It's up to you. I just don't like it. So here's what I say. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. It really is. I didn't want to say anything at the time, but I'm thinking, Greg Olson gets injured. That wouldn't be the worst thing. Right? It's like when Pat Mayo snuck and took Jordan Reed from me last year in the DFS crossover draft. I mean, come on. Not that I wish bad things to happen to people, but I just don't like when people do things that are sneaky and underhanded. And was that sneaky? It wasn't underhanded. It was just sketchy. It was sketchy. Right? So when things that happen that are sketchy, then karma comes into play. So there won't be any Olson for 8 weeks. Maybe that's the best thing. And maybe that owner should have just not kept him in the first place and thrown him back. Just throwing it out there for you. So do me a favor. Here's the lesson that you've learned. Don't be the sketchy owner in your league. Okay? Win on your own merit. Lose if you have to. But don't be sketchy. You don't want I have a friend whose nickname is Shady. That's never a good nickname to have. If your nickname is Shady, it tells me all I need to know about you. All right, so let's take a little look here at yesterday's games. I'm just going to do a quick and dirty sketch, something that caught my attention in each box score. First of all, the Bears and the Buccaneers, Jordan Howard, MIA, what's going on? And they went behind, and when they go behind, he's not going to play because he can't catch the football. And Tyreek Hill was out there. They couldn't run the ball. I got a lot to say about the Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay defense looked tremendous yesterday. Now, by the way, there were so many drops for the Bears. So many drops for the Bears. It was embarrassing. But Tampa Bay's defense looked very good. All right, Carolina against Buffalo. 9-3. This was just a terrible game. And the truth of the matter is Zay Jones dropped a pass. The Bills might have been able to win this game. I think the Bills' defense played a lot better than I expected that they would. But their offense just can't generate any offense. I don't know whether you can win with Tyrod Taylor. I don't believe so. So, as you know, Olson is hurt. So the Panthers had limited offense. But take a look at Benjamin and Funchess and Ed Dixon. They're going to have all the opportunities. Where was Christian McCaffrey? 8 carries, 10 yards. I thought Buffalo's defense stopped the run very well. But Buffalo, the defense has been great, but we got to get some offense. If there's no offense, we have issues. We have to have some offense going on here. Have to have offense. You can't win without offense. All right, Cleveland and Baltimore. Joe Flacco just getting it done. Not a great day, but a good enough day. Baltimore, we had Buck Allen played well. Alex Collins, who they brought over, had a good run. Goes to show you that sometimes guys just need a new address, new opportunity. And Alex Collins played very well. 7 carries, 42 yards. Terrence West find the end zone. I mean, that was pretty good. For Cleveland, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Corey Coleman most likely breaks his hand again. Had 7 targets, 1 catch for 9 yards. Rashard Higgins played a big role. Take a look at David Njoku. Just take a look at him. I think he may have a little life here, which is something that I might look at. And we'll discuss that more when we go inside the box scores on Tuesdays, right? So on Monday, I just do a quick and dirty sketch of what I'm seeing. Tuesdays, we go mining for fantasy gold in the box scores. Wednesday, we do our waiver wire report, right? So that's where we'll be there. Arizona against Indianapolis, I think what caught my attention was where was Larry Fitzgerald? Jerron Brown had 11 targets. Nelson had a bunch of targets. Where was Larry Fitzgerald? That worries me. If you took Larry Fitzgerald in the 4th, 5th, 6th round of your drafts, you have to be upset right now. You have to be. For Indianapolis, Jacoby Brissett actually played pretty well. I mean, he wasn't a star by any means, but he played well. And I was really happy to see that Jack Doyle played well. Because I was very worried about Jack Doyle after week 1. You know, he did nothing, and then I was like, I benched him, and I shouldn't have benched him a few leagues. I would have won 1 or 2 team games had I had Jack Doyle in. I drafted Jack Doyle to play him every week for weeks like yesterday. But I had cold feet because of the quarterback situation there. I was very, very upset in the Kansas City Eagle game, very upset that Tyreek Hill didn't do more. Look, the Eagles' secondary was terrible. They were injured. They were losing guys right and left. And I just thought that Andy Reid and Alex Smith did not challenge them down the field more. They had that one big completion to Chris Conley. But, I mean, Tyreek Hill's long catch of the day was 18 yards. This is a guy that should be getting a 50-yard bomb every game. So I was tremendously disappointed there that Tyreek Hill didn't do more. Zach Ertz is putting it up every week. Really like seeing that. I thought that he would coming in. He was my favorite tight end to pick in the 7th round. He really was. And so very, very excited to see Zach Ertz getting it done week in, week out. I was pretty close. I had said in an article last week that I thought Tom Brady was a lock for 4 touchdowns. I apologize for being wrong. He only had 3 touchdowns, but he had 447 yards. I absolutely was wrong about Brandon Cooks' Roto. I mean, he only had 4 targets in a revenge game. I just don't understand that. I think that there is a problem. Tom Brady is not finding Brandon Cooks. I don't think he's comfortable with him yet. He's comfortable with James White. He's comfortable with Chris Hogan. He's comfortable with Rob Gronkowski. He has not developed the comfort level with Brandon Cooks' Roto. And a lot of people took Brandon Cooks in the late first round, early second round in Las Vegas. I actually got him at pick 23 in one league. I was like, I can't pass Brandon Cooks up, but retrospectively, I'm not happy right now. I mean, a game against the Saints, this guy's got to get 100 yards and a touchdown. So I'm a little disappointed with what I've seen with him, but I'm hoping that it's going to get better, but I can't guarantee it. Can't guarantee it at all. So was very, very disappointed. Mike Gillislee just chugging along, really not going to see many catches, but good, probably good for a touchdown most weeks. I mean, really, probably good for a touchdown most weeks. I had mentioned to you that DeMarco Murray was dealing with a sore hamstring. Derrick Henry is a beast. This guy cannot be stopped. I'm telling you, if DeMarco Murray is out, Derrick Henry might just be a top 5 running back in fantasy football. So this is the time to get him. This is the time to own him. If DeMarco Murray's hamstring, and you know when you have a tight hamstring, that can ask Danny Woodhead about that. That could last for a long time dealing with that. For Jacksonville, once again, Blake Bortles was absolutely terrible in the first half. This is a running joke. Now, when you look at him at the whole, he had 223 yards and a touchdown, and Allen Hurns was 6 for 82, and Marquise Lee was 7 for 76, and Hurns had a touchdown. And you're like, these guys weren't so bad. No, they were bad. Allen Hurns going into, I think, the fourth quarter had like one catch for 14 yards all game long. I mean, that is how bad Blake Bortles is. Now, I know he's not going to lose his job because they played well against the Texans. I get that. But man, this guy deserves to lose his job. He absolutely stinks. Minnesota against Pittsburgh. This was actually a very predictable game for the Steelers. We know that Minnesota likes to covers the number 1 receiver very well, and the number 2 receiver has a shot there. And Martavis Bryant was a great play. 3 for 91 and a touchdown. I had him all over the place in DFS yesterday. Didn't have a great day in DFS, but I did have Martavis Bryant. For Minnesota, we saw Case Keenum instead of Sam Bradford. Look, Case Keenum is okay, but he's not good enough. So Adam Thielen only 5 receptions, Stephon Diggs only 2 receptions. This is a big problem. They need to see Sam Bradford desperately for them to compete. So I have Sam Bradford in a bunch of leagues. I might be willing to cut him because, look, his next tackle may be his last. I mean, that ACL's intact today. It may not be intact tomorrow. So there are issues going on there with Sammy Bradford. The Miami Dolphins Charger game, here's what struck me by surprise, was how much Jay Cutler went to Jarvis Landry. He went to that guy all game long. 15 targets, 13 receptions. Say what you want about Devontae Parker. He was good, but Landry was exceptional. I've said this all along. Landry deserves a long-term contract there. He's a very good player, and the Dolphins need him desperately. Jay Ajayi, 28 carries, 122 yards. That's why this guy was worth an early pick. He had 2 catches for 4 yards. I think he could do better there, but, I mean, you're looking at a 15-point-a-week player, and he should be doing that or more every week with touchdowns and stuff like that. So Ajayi looked tremendous to me. For the Chargers, Keenan Allen Roto played well, and Hunter Henry, welcome back to the offense, Hunter Henry. Antonio Gates got his touchdown. I was very happy to see that. But Hunter Henry with 7 receptions, that's what I want to be seeing. That's why I drafted Hunter Henry early. I know he disappointed in week 1. I fell into the trap where I didn't play him in week 2. I didn't play Jack Doyle. I didn't play Hunter Henry. It cost me in a couple of weeks. I won't let that happen anymore. I will play my best players, and if I lose, I lose. But at least I'm losing with my best players. Speaking of best players, Michael Crabtree was the best player on the field yesterday. 6 for 80 and 3 touchdowns. And they had 3 rushing touchdowns. Rashard, Cordell Patterson even got in there. He had 3 carries. Marshawn Lynch. We guaranteed a touchdown there, and he did score. So we did a good job there at Scout Fantasy. Scout DFS for you. The Jets, I am so confused how Elijah McGuire had the same amount of carries as Bilal Powell and the actual same number of targets as Bilal Powell. I like Elijah McGuire, But Matt Forte is still dominating the scene here. Robbie Anderson is basically getting 4 targets a game. I mean, I know the Jets are trying to lose, but I need more from Robbie Anderson. This is an unequivocal train wreck at this point, and it's just not good enough. So I'm very upset there. As someone who drafted Robbie Anderson in a lot of leagues in Las Vegas, he was like my 8th or 9th round pick in many leagues. He has been an unmitigated disappointment right now. But you know who hasn't been a disappointment? Chris Carson. Chris Carson looked very good, 20 carries for 93 yards. Maybe he is the real deal there. That was a very good pickup by people during the season. Chris Carson looking very good. Carlos Hyde looking very good in that game. Matt Breida looking very good in that game. But Brian Hoyer looked terrible in that game. Terrible. 15 completions for 99 yards, 3.7 yards of completion. That's disgusting. I mean, seriously. JV quarterbacks can do better than that. Russell Wilson wasn't much better, 23 for 39 for $198. It's got to be better than that. I have Russell Wilson. I'm not winning fantasy leagues with that. Russell Wilson better step up right now. He's not going to have a chat. I mean, I know he had 34 yards rushing, but I need more. I need more. Speaking of more, did I get more from Trevor Siemian or what? 4 touchdown passes. That's right, 4 touchdown passes. He looked great. Emmanuel Sanders looked great. C.J. Anderpuke looked very good. Impressive stuff there. For Dallas, Jason Witten just gets it done week in, week out. But Ezekiel Elliott, 9 carries for 8 yards. I think this shocked the fantasy world because Denver's run defense has been suspect in the past, but it wasn't suspect today. They basically said, come on, Dak Prescott, you try to beat us. We're going to stop Ezekiel Elliott. And that's what they did. They stopped him cold. All right, Washington against the Rams. Once again, Jordan Reed a little banged up there, so watch that closely for next week. Terrell Pryor does nothing again. 4 targets, 2 receptions. Fat Rob Kelly gets injured. P. Ryan gets 21 carries. I told you guys to be patient with P. Ryan. He's going to get the job, and he did. For the Rams, how good is Todd Gurley right now? Playing at a very high level. Looked terrific. Gerald Everett looked very good. I wanted more out of Cooper Kupp, but Jared Goff did not play well. He had a lot of time to throw the football. And he's got to do more when you get that kind of time. Do you know what Eli Manning would do at that kind of time? Are you kidding me? Eli Manning would kill for that kind of time. He just can't get it. So, Jared Goff has to do more. So I don't remember the over-under. I was at 54, 52, 55, something like that. But they covered the game last night, the Falcons and the Packers. It was 57. And so they covered that late in the game there. Aaron Rodgers, 343 yards. Jordy Nelson, though, injured. Ty Montgomery having a big night. Devontae Adams a big night because of basically Jordy Nelson's injury. I was just very, very impressed with the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan only threw for 252 yards and a touchdown. But Freeman looked good, Julio Jones looked good, Mohamed Sanu looked good. I was just impressed that this team looked like a Super Bowl team. Now, I know they are a Super Bowl team, but when you lose like they did in the Super Bowl, I would think that this would deflate a team. I thought the Falcons looked very good yesterday, and I thought they looked like a team that could absolutely compete for another Super Bowl. So Falcon fans, you should be extremely, extremely happy with what you saw out there. Because this is a team that doesn't look like it's going anywhere, and that's exciting for the NFC and for the NFL because, I don't want to see the Falcons go down after what happened last year. I thought they deserved that Super Bowl. They just didn't finish it up. Maybe they will in 2017. Okay, what I want you to do now, though, is a couple of things. First of all, I want you to go to scoutfantasy.com. I want you to enter the promo code ROTO2017, and if you do that, we'll get you half off your first month. Okay, we've got, seriously, yesterday, me, Adam Ronis, Sean Childs, dominating the premium message board forums, answering your questions before game time. Really, you're getting 3 proven high-stakes winners in there helping you with your leagues. Also, I want you to go to scoutdfs.com. Get a hold of our scout scores, get a hold of our NFL Optimizer, read the articles by my man Fuego Steve and Steve Renner, that also known as SD Chickens. Excellent stuff at scoutdfs.com. If you're a member of Scout Fantasy, you can get a lifetime membership at $14.95. If not, it's $24.95. So check that out. It is a steal. It is a steal, and I highly encourage you to go there. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. If you are a member of Scout Fantasy, just know that I will be doing late night with Dr. Roto in the members forums from 11:30 till midnight every night Eastern time, answering your questions. Forget Fallon, forget Colbert, forget Kimmel. It's Dr. Roto live with you every night at 11:30, answering your fantasy football questions. But I'm wishing you a great day. Back tomorrow with Inside the Box Scores. This is Dr. Roto saying be well, take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!